Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about responsible internet research, how to use the information on the internet. First off, I want to state that the internet is awesome. It is a phenomenal research tool for anyone to take advantage of. Not only can you get instantly connected with people across the world, but you can gain access to information at a lightning quick rate. And there's so much information available that to use the internet is severely tempting. However, as with any great resource, there are pitfalls to using it, and today we're going to explore some of those pitfalls and hopefully make you more aware of what is responsible internet research. First off, you need to ask yourself who is providing the info. The internet connects people all across the world. However, it's not a verified source every time. You have to be aware that sometimes there are amateur people that are providing information that they might not have researched fully. You can often see opinions represented as if they were fact and subsequently, ironclad. You can also have people that just, misrepresent facts and offer a false interpretation of certain events. And you can have fabrication, just straight up lies about what's occurring on the internet. And so you and your children need to be aware that not everything on the internet is exactly as it seems. So make sure you verify, where you're getting this information from, who's producing it. The internet is also filled with anonymous user content. When you can't verify who a user is, that means most of the time you can't verify where they got their research from, or even if they're being honest about the sources that they're citing. So if you happen to take anonymously provided resource materials, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to passing on information that could be false. For example, the internet is filled with various hoaxes. They're not very difficult to find. A noticeable one was shortly after 9/11, the internet was passing along rumors that Nostradamus actually predicted the event. You can go through and do research and determine that, in fact, Nostradamus never did make any allusion towards 9/11 ever occurring. Secondly, I have a link provided here, which will be down in the comments on this video. The Onion iPod charger. Supposedly, a website at one point had set up a fact that you could plug up an Onion and an iPod charger and somehow charge your phone. However, even YouTube can be deceiving, as the link provided will take you to a Mythbusters where they proceed to debunk that. There's actually an entire Mythbusters episode devoted to debunking internet myths, and so you need to be careful because what you come across on the internet might not be fact. Forums are an interesting place where it allows free discussion of a topic amongst many different peoples of differing perspectives. You're able to get both sides of an issue very easily, but however, you also need to be aware that forums are highly opinionated. And when people are highly opinionated, they can often slant information and perceive it, and present it, rather, in a way that can slant perspective. So you want to be careful when you're using forums. You don't want to cite them as fact. You can use them to get perspective on a debate. For instance, if you have a paper on a particular moral issue, you can use a forum to get perspective on both sides of that issue as you're analyzing it. However, don't take facts provided in a forum as, fact. Business websites are also very valuable, and they can help give a perspective on business matters. However, you have to be aware that the information is almost 100% always slanted. Bad information, or information that makes the business look poorly, will always negatively impact PR and investments. And so you have to be aware that they have a very strong bias. And you always need to look for a second independent source to verify any information you get off of a business website. And a competitor doesn't always count as a second independent source because they can often provide misinformation or highlight certain facts over others to make them look good in comparison with their competitor. So always be careful with business websites. Social media is also somewhat valuable. You're not going to get a lot of information for reports and things of that nature from social media. What you get is a good perspective on debate on an issue. Similar to a forum, people will use various social medias as, a way to speak out on a certain issue and establish a certain perspective. It's also valuable in getting a sense of how quickly information flows. So a news item will break, And subsequently you can get an idea of just how vastly it spreads and to who it spreads to. So social media is good in those regards. However, I would be very cautious in using any sort of social media as a research tool. As a historian, I dread the day when I read a dissertation in which Facebook will be cited as a primary source. But for now, be sure to avoid, Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Last.fm, and Google Plus, and any other social media that exists or might, develop in the next, few years. Try and avoid them as formal research avenues. Wikipedia is complex. Wikipedia is a phenomenally in-depth source. It provides a vast amount of information on, any number of topics. I find myself going to Wikipedia at least 2 or 3 times a day, to look up and verify various information, but not when I'm researching something. I look it up whenever I feel like there's a gap in my knowledge and I need to expose myself to, this sort of understanding. But it's not good for a formal research tool, and I'll tell you why. It's because Wikipedia can be edited by anyone, and content can be submitted at any point. And so you're not always provided with, great results, or verifiable results. For instance, some people will manipulate their own Wikipedia pages. The show Tosh.0 might be popular. Some of you might be aware of it, but Daniel Tosh had told his viewers to edit his Wikipedia page, and they proceeded to put various fabrications on it. There are other similar media people that have gone and edited their material. Additionally, you have people that have a very specific perspective and will often include information that is false or perpetuates a myth or perpetuates a specific type of moral argument in a Wikipedia page. And so you have to be very careful. Some things are cited in Wikipedia, and if you track the footnotes and you find a viable source, then use the viable source as your research tool. Do not use Wikipedia. That's not to say that Wikipedia shouldn't be polled, though. You can look at Wikipedia to gain a basic foundation knowledge of, the topic you're wanting to research. But then you need to go and you need to verify all that information that you found on there to make sure that it is sound, and you need to verify it with a second source. Second, third, fourth, how many ever you need to make sure that what you are saying is very true. And so don't be afraid to use Wikipedia, but do not cite or hold what's said on Wikipedia as fact. And again, I don't mean to say all of these things to scare people away from internet research. The information that is available on the internet is infinite. Things are being added every day. I just looked up a recipe just before making this video. Before that, I was looking up an article on, the news, and before that, I was watching a trailer for a movie. The internet is a vast place of information, and so I don't want people to be scared of it, particularly because there are valuable, beneficial research tools. You have museum websites, archives that house primary documents. You have encyclopedia that have formal website pages. You have news media, and you have all these different vast sources of information that can be very beneficial. But you just need to be responsible with it. And in all honesty, responsible internet research doesn't differ from, regular research as far as its responsibilities go. You just have to be smart. You have to verify the identity of the source where you're getting the information from. You also have to verify the information they are providing. In addition, you have to find reliable sources and multiple reliable sources. You can't just get your facts from one entity. You have to get them from multiple existences, multiple different sources, to make sure that what you're saying is true. You also have to be aware of perspective. Sometimes people have certain biases when they're putting information down, and you have to factor that into your analysis, of how you evaluate the evidence that you have. And the most important thing is you have to be discerning with your topic, discerning with your research. Some material might seem interesting, but if you can't verify it, you have to, not include it. Or at the very least, you have to mention the fact that some of these things cannot be verified and, a full extent. You need to be discerning with your choice of source, and you need to be discerning in where you're getting your information from. Okay? But most importantly, beyond being discerning, is just to have fun with your topic. This is not something that you should be bored doing. The internet is a vast area. It makes research very easy and much more entertaining than it would have been 20 years ago. So just make sure you have fun with your topic, but do it in a responsible way. Okay, well, I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope you have a great day and good luck with your research.